Hey yo, it's Dash. This video is just pretty much, it's going to be a bunch of shout outs and thank you. I don't know if you noticed or, obviously I'm paying attention, but my channel by now, hopefully by the time this is uploaded, will definitely have 20,000 video views, and over 100 subs. I made 100 subs last night, so that was pretty cool. So one of the things, if you guys know, you see a bunch about me, I try and comment on a lot of smaller YouTubers videos. Everybody wants to get feedback, and not just like trolling or spammers and things like that. So my first group of shout outs are going to be to those that have commented the most on my animations. Alright, so basically first up is a guy named Kyle. I think your name is Kyle, I'm pretty sure. He has two channels. The first channel is the Lying Mustache. Maybe I'll put an annotation right there. And the other one is Enhance the Truth, and I guess I'll put an annotation right there. The next person that comments a bunch or has commented a bunch, she's kind of fallen off the last couple weeks, days, however, is Hot Drum Chick. I hope you're a chick. Again, you'll get an annotation. I'll just, maybe over there. This next person is actually a coworker of mine. I don't know that he posts a lot of videos, and I don't know if any of these people, majority of these people, sometimes might or might not. But nonetheless, you're gonna get a shout out. If you can, please go to these people's channels and check them out. If they have, videos, if they have something you like, sub them up. Help them out. Why not? Just make sure you leave them a comment on the channel. Let them know you were there, and let them know I sent you, so that they know why you're there. All right. Next guy I said was my coworker, Zigmarist63. I actually think he posts like some concert videos. I don't know what he does a whole bunch. Gnome Killer or Nom Killer, however you want this pronounced. You're the next up. You had the next in the line of subs. Big Havner 86. I'm gonna get to Big Havner 86 a little later, but you had some comments on a couple of my animations. Excuse me. Next up, you got a part in my language. I didn't do it. This person did. It's X no fucking idea. Yeah, I didn't make it up. But that person commented a bunch, or actually a couple times, not necessarily a bunch. This next person, Stephanie Eliza, maybe. Hopefully I got that right. If I didn't, sorry. NCK9 Bradley, he gave me some advice when I was kind of just starting out. And, I haven't forgotten what you said. I definitely will. What he said was he didn't particularly care for the computer voice. I actually kind of like the computer voice, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. If you don't dig it, leave me a comment. That's why I always ask people for feedback, and I usually never get any feedback. So if you can, leave me a comment, and we can go from there. Okay, then this next person, Steeny Voice. Don't even know why or how I found your channel or how you found mine, but nonetheless, she's commented a couple times on my videos. David Friendly commented. Mark Ripley's page commented. Little Damn WBMGZ. Alright, that person commented a time or two. And this next person is There's Gabe, and I guess that's a pretty decent segue into the next group of shout outs. The next group of shout outs are those people that have actually inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing. There's Gabe is a channel where it's Gabe, his wife Stephanie, and their son Austin, and then some of the random friends and things like that, and family. But he does a daily vlog. His daily vlog is, obviously is them and their family. But check him out if you're into vlogging. Check him out. Definitely, he's out in Utah, and he does a whole bunch of stuff. You really would think Utah is kind of boring, but apparently not. All right. Speaking of vloggers, the next vlogger I have is Ben Hillman. He does jamming vlogs. Alright, right there, baby. Check him out. He's in high school out in California. I don't know, it's kind of interesting to me to see someone else go through high school. you know, if I had the foresight or wherewithal to take a video camera along with me every day and then look back on it when I'm 30, like I'm 30 now, when I was 17 or 18, that probably would be pretty darn interesting. So, you know, definitely props to him for doing that. Next one actually is kind of a segue from Benny Hillman, who introduced me to 5 Mediocre Teens. 5 Mediocre Teens is basically some people that he knows who are doing the same thing, but it's 5 different girls who are vlogging every day. One of the girls vlogs a different day of the week. And again, to me, it's just interesting to see high school going through from a different generational perspective. And, you know, just go from there. Next person I have up, speaking of vlogging, is Johnny Vloggity. Hopefully, I'll just put the annotation over here. And, you know, I'll get it right. That's Johnny G. Check him out. He doesn't necessarily do or maybe I'm not subscribed to your vlog channel. I don't know. But he does some skits and parodies and things like that. And he gives a lot of advice. I think what wrote me in when you were giving advice about the whole partnership thing. And, you know, pretty much I thought that was pretty cool. When I say partnership, YouTube partnership, in case you didn't know. But I thought that was pretty cool. It was pretty interesting, motivational, I guess you could say. So definitely, you know, thumbs up for that. Let's see who else do I have on this list here. Life of a Geek Productions. If you haven't, check out Gal. I hope it's Gal. If it's Gal, I'm sorry. You know, I apologize in advance if I get it wrong. But he does this little series. I think it's like 2 or 3 times a week, maybe. It is what blows my mind. You guys know how I do the Don't You Hate It When animations, and I use the hashtag, you know, DYHIW. I always mess that up, so I'm glad I didn't this time. He does WBMM, okay, what blows my mind. And he basically takes a news story or something that happened to him or something in the news story, and he will explode upon that basically and give his opinion and how it relates to his life, I guess you could say. So that's pretty much it. And then I want to also just make sure move the camera there, sorry. Alright, give a little exploded or a bigger shout out to Big Havner 86. Brian is a serviceman. He's actually out of country right now, and I definitely want to give him a big shout out and, you know, thank you to everything that you're doing right now for our country, you know, at least my country. You know, not everyone that's watching this is American, but definitely it is an honor to know you, basically. I talked to you before and I told you that I owe you some drinks, or at least, you know, I can't get you drunk or anything, I'm not that rich, but, you know, I'll at least get you a drink or two when you have some leave. You know, all we gotta do is link up. We actually live kind of close to each other and we can go from there. Last couple of shouts are for Sky John, basically. If you don't know who Sky John is, you just gotta go and look up Sky John, SKYY. Well, I'm just gonna put an annotation. Sky John has a bunch of channels. I'll annotate almost all of them that I can find. He's got like Sky John 2, Tipsy Bartender. I think that's it. But definitely go check him out. His videos aren't for everyone. Alright, so you definitely, you know, you need to check him out and go from there. Lastly, speaking of Sky John, he allowed me to shout out my channel the other day, or actually last night on Vocal. And after he allowed me to shout out my channel on Vocal, I broke the 100 sub barrier, subscription barrier. I know this is kind of running on, and I'm gonna stop trying to say but thank you very much to this point. But anyway, he allowed me to shout out my channel, and because I was able to shout out my channel, a couple people from the Bastard Nation came, subbed my channel, checked me out, and a couple people liked what they saw, and I appreciate it. So I'm also going to put a link to the person that was 100 sub. Alright, you know, definitely appreciate that. And I think that's about it. So if you can, share. If you are going to use the annotations, if you've never done annotations, actually take a while to do. So if you can, you know, definitely check out the people who I've annotated around this video, and let them know I sent you, alright? So, and if you like what you see on their channels, then stop and sub. Alright, so that's it. Thank you. I'm Dash. Deuces. You know, I'm not going to tell you the whole... You can follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. You can comment below. Alright, and you can like, and if you haven't already subscribed, then you can do that. Alright, thank you very much. Appreciate you watching, and I hope to get to 200 subs. Alright, I guess I need to go 150 first, and then maybe 200. Alright, thanks a lot again, and bye-bye.